U.S.'s run in the World Cup ended, unfortunately, as they got embarrassed by Belgium 4-1 in the round of 16, mostly from their own mistakes. Some great games today. Argentina came back in the final 20 minutes of the match to end up beating Egypt 3-2 after trailing 2-0. And just now, Sweden ends up holding off. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. Appreciate y'all joining me, however you may be joining me, whether that's 94.1 on your FM dial, if you have to be locked in and listening live at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on our YouTube channel, that's right, we stream all of our shows live on YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. You can like, subscribe, comment along with the show as it happens, or you can always call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, love to have a conversation with you as I finish up that Sports Center. It was Switzerland who ends up holding off Colombia after they played 0-0 through extra time, and Swiss would win 4-3 in PKs. And some great soccer games this afternoon. Frank, Britton, I see y'all already up in the comment section. Appreciate everybody for rolling along this evening. It is a tough day if you're an American, because we bought in again, and once again we were let down in the most embarrassing of fashion, as you think you have a shot, you get your best player back, and then something like this happens after you end up evening up the score after giving up an early chippy, and then you give it right back. It's 2-1. You're hoping in the second half, you're putting all this pressure on, and then all of a sudden your goalkeeper just Young-Ho Koos it.
Richards beaten out of the air. Freeze has got to get there and deal with it. He takes it down off the chest to Ketelaar and knocks it away. Tim Ream can't block it, and unless video review says this is a foul from behind on Ream, it is a disaster.
Disaster is a great way to put that. Another great way to put it was embarrassing. Christian Pulisic by himself had 11 turnovers in the first half. The team had 3 errors lead to goals in that game. They were just not there, and it was embarrassing to watch. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ talking about the embarrassment that was last night's game out at Lumen Field. That's what watching it felt like, listening to this.
No. I know. I know. Oh, no.
I don't know who I feel worse for. The passing soccer fan that wanted to love, that wanted to believe, or the diehard. I don't know which one today I feel like I need to console more.
The diehard knew this was coming.
I think so. So they expected
yeah, it's different.
They've been kicked in the teeth before.
Yeah. This sucks, man.
Man. And all of the old axioms fall true yet again. We're not sending our best. Right? This is all we got.
No,
this is
but
it. Huh?
You know what? I think we are. And like I'll hear like famous James come in here and talk about we've got now players that are playing at the world's highest level. Like we've got Premier League players that are on our team, which that wasn't always the case. Like, in the 90s, we didn't have anybody like that. Like, who was the one guy, Landon Donovan or whatever, that was like
the name, Taylor Twellman.
Landon Donovan was like the first guy that was like,
and he couldn't make a team.
No, I think he was on a team over there, but he wasn't playing. And like, I like now we've got legit dudes who play in Europe, and but we just don't have the best dudes.
It looked like the winner of the Lone Star Conference in football taking on a mid-level SEC team in a bowl where, if everything went right.
It's like UTSA goes 10-2
and goes
and then they've got to play now you're
third place in the Big 12.
Yeah, now you're playing Alabama
we were just outclassed. It looks like everybody on the field looked bigger and faster than our guys, and they were smarter. And every mistake we made, it was bam. I mean, anything we did wrong, it was capitalized on, which tells me that's instinct. That's understanding. I mean, everything we did wrong, they knew exactly what to do. And it was forever will be remembered for the whiff of the goalie. I mean, that would just kind of put the period at the end of the sentence, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, you can tell within the first 10 minutes, oh no. These guys are doing things different than we're used to.
The three of the 4 goals that they scored were embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh no, we got guys just standing around. Like, this is not going to work.
The first goal was embarrassing. Like, it was like, again, this is me. I don't know anything about soccer, but I just as someone who watches sports, period, I could tell, hey man, you guys should kick that ball out of there. And they all just stood around, and it's like, what? Like, what are you guys doing? Then they, you know what? The other goal was kind of embarrassing too, because when the U.S. tied it, when they hit the equalizer, I said, oh, maybe there's something here.
Nah, we got counterpunched. We got a kidney punch.
I mean, 90 seconds later, it was 2-1.
Right in the kidney.
And the second goal was the least embarrassing goal that they scored. The third goal was like the goalie was in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's the period.
That's not where you're supposed to be, bro.
And then when you get there, to not kick the damn ball.
And there was another guy who wasn't the goalie, but I assume he could have kicked the ball away too.
He tried. He was running backwards.
He didn't try that hard.
Well, he had no prayer. It was not his fault. He looked up and saw his goalie behind him. Like, what the hell are you doing, bro?
Yeah, what are you doing back there?
So I think he was kind of backpedaling, and the ball just came whizzing by because, first of all, the ball should have never been there because didn't I see the goalie about to kick it and then stop? Why did you not kick the ball?
Yeah, and then the last goal, they were just trying to embarrass us at that point. I could tell.
Now my fear was, and I don't know enough about soccer, it didn't feel that way, was street justice was imminent. That you can force a player onto that team, but if I'm a soccer purist, and this guy was like Jordanian and evidently one of the best refs that had been going. He's the first ref. This is the first crew that had called 4 games that they were well regarded. So obviously FIFA sent in their best refs, but sometimes street justice takes over where you can beat the rat, but not the ride. Right. So yeah, you get to play, but I'm going to allow those guys to beat the crap out of you. I'm going to allow them to do all those little tiny things that are in the gray area of the rules. I'm going to let them do that all game long because you shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, I feel like that guy. I mean, first of all, the guy that he wasn't a factor.
Not at all. So I'm wondering, he was our best dude.
Like, I think in hindsight, now especially that, the USA lost, I think they did the right thing. I think the guy, like, he shouldn't have been. It would have been a shame had he missed that game over some nonsense.
Well, I think right or wrong, whether he was in there or not, it obviously, in some way, shape, or form, affected this team. Yeah. Whether they didn't expect him to play, and when he did show up 48 hours earlier, they had to alter their game plan or something, because this team set foot on the court or pitch, not ready to play. It just felt like they were timid and afraid and just not ready for the moment. And all I can think of that would have occurred, other than just the stress of being in this round, that's different, is this.
Well, all I know is when they scored that fourth goal at the end of the game,
That was one of those.
that was like reminding them, hey, man, you
guys can host this thing just because you're playing daddy ball.
Yeah.
Just because your mom called the coach, let him play the best, forced him to play the best player. You ain't going to win this. And it felt, again, like a very good mid-level team rolling into a high-level machine. And just at every angle, they're just not competent enough to beat a team like that unless they play absolutely freaking perfect.
Yep. So
goodbye and good riddance. We'll see you in 4 years.
R.I.P. USA. We had us a good run, but it just well, maybe in 4 years are we guaranteed to qualify? I don't know. I mean, you never know, Rob. There's lots of questions about that. So
we offered the coach another contract. He'll be back for the next one.
Okay.
The Argentinian.
Okay. I didn't blame him.
No.
I was watching. I'm like, our guys, there should be, this shouldn't be happening to professional players. Like, you guys got to be better than this. That wasn't coaching. That was like players not doing player things.
Now, the one thing I have learned, like, I know where the soccer players are in the United States. I know where they are. They're playing cornerback in football, and they're playing small forward in basketball.
Well,
that's where all of our, if it was truly we're going to send our best.
No,
Let's
I agree.
send a bunch of mid-level cornerbacks and just guess what? You're going to start kicking it because we know you can't catch.
Yeah.
You're already just about your footwork. And then those dudes that are about 6'6", 6'7" in basketball, they're a little bit too skinny.
6'7".
Yeah, just a little too skinny to get into the paint, but that are gazelles that can run all day. Those are the dudes that should be playing like that Erlen Nerdegaard dude that just all he does is jump high and head it into that. That's where all of our soccer players are.
I mean, I'd probably, yeah, you're probably right. I've accepted we're never going to be on that level, and that's okay. I don't care that much. I just don't want us to be embarrassed when we do lose. And yesterday was kind of embarrassing. Like that was an ass whooping. That was a total beat down. And today I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of America today.
Well, again, this is. I'm sorry you took it so hard. I had no idea you were so committed to this. I'm glad you're.
I'm
I hate
wrecked.
that you're devastated and pooping constantly, all at the same time.
Everything's going wrong.
I think it's a sense memory that you're never going to be able to get over.
The World Cup result has me sick.
See, I think from now on, every time you see any kind of football or soccer, you're going to have this kind of deep-seated medulla. I got to poop.
Yeah.
It's going to be from here on out. And soccer is now ruined, like Pavlov's dog the other way.
Yeah.
You're going to see soccer need to poop.
It's a very sad time in our country. A very, very sad time.
For those of you unaware, AJ was drinking the thing that gets you ready for when you turn 45 and have to get your oil checked, basically. So, World Cup. Definitely not a fun day for AJ, but very much so, like they said, it's embarrassing, and you would have hoped for better. Even if they have lost, you didn't want them losing in that fashion. You wanted them to be competitive, and they just weren't. And it felt like a step back, 5 steps back after taking several steps forward throughout this World Cup. I wasn't sure USA was going to make it out of group play. They just haven't been playing very well. They came together. They looked good. They won their group going into the final game. They ended up getting the win in the round of 32 over Bosnia and Herzegovina, and impressively playing a man down at one point and still adding another goal despite that. The hopes were high. The morale was high. And then they lay an egg like this, and it just undid, in my mind, everything that they had built up for U.S. soccer. And hopefully they can recapture it all and start to get some of that back, because it was fun. It was fun to be in and watch the world be in on USA and World Cup soccer, and continue to support and throw their hat in, and the watch parties at the Roo Pub. All these things have been phenomenal to this point, and it feels like just poof. It's all over. It's all done. And it's all gone. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up, we have football to transition to. Not just football, but football. Big 12 Media Days are underway, and Texas Tech and the commissioner, Brett Yormark, had some splaining to do as it came to the Brennan Sorsby situation. We're going to discuss all that as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
On the next Morning Huddle, Tales from the Rectum. We'll see how everything with AJ. Did everything come out all right? Spurs had their last game in the California Classic, and we have our quarterfinals set for the World Cup. It's going to be fun. Set your alarm. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go. GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
94.1 FM.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And the calendar now firmly in July. And with July, we are 10 days away from the first two teams that are playing in the Hall of Fame game. I believe it's Arizona and Carolina. Getting in for training camp, an opening training camp. 10 days away from our first training camp. We also have Big 12 Media Days as our first college football media day takes place. And for that, none better than the Big 12, because you're going to get lots of questions being asked about one issue with a former Texas Tech quarterback that tried to go pro that still has to wait out a year and stay away from football because of a gambling addiction in Brennan Sorsby. And Brett Yormark really tried to avoid it at all costs.
Let me start off by saying I appreciate the question. I appreciate other questions that are probably going to come forth today. Today's not the time to address that issue. Today is about celebrating the upcoming football season and celebrating our 16 schools. But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
He even had a back and forth with a Texas Tech media guy and Sean Dillon, and it got extremely weird, and you could tell that he is trying to distance himself from, which I don't get, one of the richest schools in the conference and what seemingly should be a school that they should be trying to wrap their arms around. But Dylan asks him a question and Brett Yormark tries to make a display out of him when really he just makes an ass out of himself.
Should Texas Tech fans believe it?
Can you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up. Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you. So go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU has had paddles that were given a noisemaker exemption back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there's a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question. But thank you for that question. Appreciate it.
It's a bad look. And I understand avoiding all Sorsby related content in a way, but even then, and you talk about the tortilla thing that was brought up, exceptions are made for different schools about different rules for traditions. And Tech's not getting the same leeway as other schools within the Big 12. Well, earlier today on the Blitz, they were talking about what was going on at Big 12 Media Day, especially with Joey McGuire taking the mic.
Big 12 getting things started with college media days. And again, college football, they got smart when they were like, all right, when can we do these and own the weeks? Big 12's going first. You're going to have the SEC, the ACC, the American, all of them in the month of July will have their media days. And really, to a degree, it's a little bit more about the ESPN coverage because ESPN will be live at a lot of these events. But talking season is always a lot of fun, unless, of course, you're Texas Tech, because they're in damage control season. If you're Texas Tech, you just can't wait till we're talking games.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to Sorsby. But Joey McGuire, I credit Joey because, now granted, when he came on with us a couple of weeks ago, he was still not sure if Sorsby was going to be available or what the resolution was. But he's been upfront. Now he knows it's damage control time.
That's a great question, man. It's good to see you too. And it's tough. The thing for me that through all of this, my president and my AD, who are good friends of mine, who believed in me, who hired me, they went through a lot. Like if you look as a whole, there were not a lot of coaches that said really a whole lot. There was some funny jabs taken by some coaches, but there wasn't a lot of coaches that just really came out and said a lot of different things. And so for my peers, I got a lot of support. Eric Morris, the first day any news broke, called me and said, hey, man, I'm just doing a well check. He's a good friend of mine. Kalani is a great friend of mine. Said the same thing. Kenny Dillingham made a joke in a group text and then called me and said, I was kidding. I said, Kenny, dude, I get it, man. So for me, my peers, I had so much support from my peers. And it was tough to see Kirby and President Skubanek have to go through that. And so, I hate that for them. The thing that we really try to focus on is the Red Raiders and our alumni base and our boosters. And so that's who, whenever I've talked to, answered any emails, text, or anything like that, those are the ones that I concerned to make sure they understand where we were coming from.
Yeah, interesting. And you're right. Just trying to and I'm really surprised that they're still catching some heat. And apparently they are, or he wouldn't feel the need to go and on the podium today and talk about it. But the thing's over. I know they were trying like hell to keep Sorsby there, and I get all of that, but I mean, it's over. It's done. He's not going to play. It just seems to me like this thing ought to just go away.
Well, again, once the games start, although even then, if the Texas Tech quarterbacks struggle, it's man, if they had Sorsby, right? And again, they spent the money, and it might just be because of the infraction, because it was gambling and the level in which he was gambling. This wasn't a $5 or $10 bet with some buddies. This wasn't, a couple of dollars on a player prop. I mean, this was massive amounts of money. in the way they kept going to the mat. And, and Joey McGuire even used the phrase down in Houston at their touchdown club, it's not like he committed murder, right? There are a lot of middle the coach at Oklahoma State. They had that running back get a DWI, and he was like, yeah, I brought him here. Let him face the music. He's a well-paid athlete now.
Yeah.
You're an adult making a lot of money. This is what you have to deal with.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good thing. But the way Tech handled this was poor, to put it lightly, at the very beginning. And they were fighting like hell to keep him there. I think all those other coaches that were in the mix for Sorsby probably, they did breathe a sigh of relief once he went to or they found out what happened and he was not on their squad. But again, I just think it's time to let this thing go. I mean, I don't know how much what can Texas Tech do now to satisfy somebody that's still maybe pissed off at them for, I don't know, trying to better themselves with a quarterback and knowing what he did. They tried to protect him, but still, what can they do now?
Well, what can they do? What Joey McGuire has been doing. Challenge Texas to go play a football game.
Yeah, first spot the ball, man. Like, we're ready to go right now. We'll play tomorrow. We don't need any film study or anything like that, man. I know they don't either. They got a great football team, one of the best teams in the country. They're going to be really good this year. The thing, I have a lot of respect for Sark, for people that have covered the University of Texas for a long time. What he's been able to do to be successful and sustain success, it's hard to do. Mac Brown was the last coach to be able to do what he's doing, and before that, y'all would have to help me of who was before that other than Darryl Rule that literally had the success that Sark's having. And so I have a lot of respect for him. If you go back and you look on record, I've said continuously, I think he's one of the best play callers, in the game today.
And it's fine. And it's a great way to distract. But Sorsby's not a part of the team. You can answer the questions, move on, get it over with. That way you can move forward. And I think that's the best way to do it. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Don't forget to start your morning with Rob and AJ in the morning huddle as they get you started at 6 a.m., then the blitz from 2 to 6. We've got Rangers and Angels coming up next right here on San Antonio's Sports Star. Call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing, can change everything. Love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to